What's up, dirty birdies? This is your favorite Castle Rock podcast. Watch us on the couch, Castle Rock. My name is Chris Nays. I'm only one half of your hosts. I'm joined by my co-host,
Venom. Apparently.
Venom, go ahead and sound off. Say your name. You just headbutted the microphone for everybody out there in listener land.
I'm Debbie.
And you are Debbie, correct. You're my actual co-host.
Venom's just hogging it.
Since we addressed our, shall we say, listeners who do not enjoy the podcast enough to leave terrible comments in our iTunes reviews, don't have to do that this week.
Oh.
But I did forget some things, so we're going to address that first.
Okay.
The Institute. Have you read it, Debbie?
No. I need to.
You need to. I forgot to mention that I finished it a few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. How did you like how it ended?
I did like how it ended. Only kind of criticism is I really wish I would have got more time in the book with the characters that it opens up with.
Yeah, you mentioned that. You hear about them and then you don't hear about them again.
Yeah, well, you do, but he bookends by bringing these characters back.
I see.
Yeah, so I would have liked a little more time with them. It's just sort of, the book is sort of structured in that way. So, you know, for what it was, though, I really enjoyed it. He's been on a roll with books that I've enjoyed, you know?
And they haven't seemed too big either.
No, he's
toning down the words.
I guess. Under the Dome was probably, well, maybe, 11/22/63.
Yeah, but that was a while ago.
Exactly. Yeah, that was like 2011 or something like that. So,
yeah.
And Under the Dome was even before that one.
Right.
So since those two, he's sort of been in the, I don't know, I couldn't even really say 500-page range, something like that. It obviously differs from book to book, but length is never really an issue for me unless the payoff isn't worth it.
Yeah.
Which, like, Under the Dome is that way for me.
And a lot of his books are kind of like that.
Do you plan on reading The Institute fairly soon?
I hope to start reading more of his books in the next coming months since it's going to be cold.
Well, yeah, fall is definite book reading weather for me.
Yeah.
I like, especially if it's
because you hermit out.
Freezing rain or snow or something like that. I will sit down and read a book almost
go
before
nowhere.
anything else. Right.
I'm not leaving.
So, well, that's cool. I'm hopeful I get to hear your thoughts about it before we are done with this season.
Yeah.
But we'll see, right?
I'll see if it's at the library next week.
Fair enough. That's actually really soon. Mm-hmm. So, okay. So, other things I forgot to mention. I think I checked in with you about this in between last episode and today. We didn't really talk about how she says the laughing place.
Oh, yeah. No, we didn't.
That is directly out of Misery. The laughing place, Annie brings up in the novel probably halfway to 2/3 of the way through. And she says she goes there to get away and when she's particularly feeling crazy as hell and just laughs and laughs and laughs. But what Paul thinks she actually does is goes there and screams her head off, which I think is probably more what
I could see
the
that,
case is. So
maniacal screaming.
Yeah.
Laughter.
And I definitely felt like that was worth mentioning because she does say the laughing place. Now it turns out multiple episodes she mentions the laughing place.
Right. And it's definitely something that she's been talking to her daughter about.
Yeah, she's like
forever.
The laughing place has been mentioned in the show in the way that she's looking for somewhere that's their whatever their final
safe haven.
Yeah, their destination is going to be on this long, lifelong journey for Joy, trying to find this place where they can finally be safe or feel like it's their home, right? The Laughing Place has apparently evolved by the time we get to the Misery novel to not be that whatsoever.
Right.
So felt like that was worth mentioning. I don't really have news since we have to cover 2 episodes today, but I did want to make sure I played the clip of what the intro to Castle Rock lightning round of news is.
Okay.
So I'm going to pull that up now and play that for the audience.
What is the lightning noise?
Well, that sounds more, like crashing.
Crashing.
Crumbling. Oh. Okay, so when we do news again, that will be the intro every time. And I might play it just like that through my cell phone.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, anyway. It makes it easier than going back and editing the intro in there.
Sounds into it?
Yeah, but I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Sounds cheese-tastic.
Exactly. Okay. Oh, the only other thing... Oh, 2 other things, actually. One criticism that I had going into even watching the show was that the Misery story, upon rereading it, you notice that it's a really self-contained story. It's only a couple of characters, right?
Right.
You eventually have some police involvement and things like that, but they're not ever major characters in the story. It's really just Paul and Annie.
Right. I was going to say, it's just 2 of them.
So going into the show, it's like, okay, we're going to expand upon her story. The only concern I had really was that overcomplicating it might like ruin sort of the magic of what her story is.
What it is. Yeah.
I
don't think it is, though.
No, I've actually really enjoyed up through episode 3, which I forgot to mention we're going to cover episodes 2 and 3 this week. No, I've really enjoyed where the stories have gone. Specifically, I feel like her story is pretty well fleshed out at this point.
Right.
You know, actually, even after 1 episode, they had a really nice setup.
They hooked me in on her. I mean,
right.
She just batshit crazy.
Yeah. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned that, and shoving the scoop in to Ace's mouth really reminded me of how Misery ends. Which, spoilers, if you've not read the novel and you don't want a spoiler, go ahead and skip forward 15 seconds a bunch of times right now. And okay, so spoiler territory right now. Paul shoves paper of the Misery novel that she makes him write.
Mm-hmm.
He shoves charred, burnt pieces of the paper into her mouth.
Right.
And it makes her choke. And so when I read that the other day, it instantly reminded me of the scoop scene.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
It's like a
homage.
Yeah, like a 1-to-1 comparison. You know what I mean? It's not much different whatsoever.
Yeah.
So
that was just gnarly.
It definitely sticks with you, and especially since that was one of the last things that happened. You're going into episode 2 with that.
Right. I know. Everybody who's asking, how's the show so far? I'm like, well, the last 10 minutes of episode 1, I yelled, holy shit or whatever, outside.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then just mouth agape for the last 10 minutes because I couldn't believe what was happening.
So you've been gossiping about, people are asking you about this season already?
Yeah.
Like outside of...
Yeah, like at work and shit.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. So they know you're a fan.
Yes.
Do they know about this podcast?
Yes.
Oh boy. Hi, coworkers. I think one of my coworkers maybe knows about the Castle Rock show.
Mm. Well, you have to understand, like I work at a library, so there's a lot of Stephen King fans there,
Absolutely, as well there should be.
Right.
Right. Okay, so we did all these things. Let's not tarry any further. Let's get right to episode 2, shall we?
Shall. Which was called New Jerusalem.
New Jerusalem. I guess referencing the town itself,
Right.
and last episode, that song that we heard a lot.
Yeah.
I actually started reading Salem's Lot last night, and since we're getting sort of into territory that involves a certain house, I figured I might as well brush up on some of that material and see if I can find some things to reference here on the show, right?
Cool.
It's one of his best books, too, if you've never read Salem's Lot.
No.
Vampire book. Okay, so this episode we open up back at the burial ground where where Annie and Ace kind of both fall into, right?
Right. Of course, Ace is dead.
We're actually, I guess we don't find out it's a burial ground until she's down in there. But yeah, there's some definite weird shit going on down in
tombs and shit.
Yeah, exactly. So that's never good when we're in Stephen King world.
No.
Burial ground stuff.
No, never
in
good.
Several different stories always ends up bad, you know.
That things always come back.
Yeah, the Overlook, of course, you know, is on Indian burial ground.
Yeah, things don't like to stay dead.
Right. So I guess this is where we see her kind of make her way out of that little area. There's some we see some like beetle iconography, sort of like carvings or something on the walls down in that little pit. But we pretty quickly find Annie moving up into sort of some underground tunnels, right?
Which, hell yeah, for that flashlight, that mag light she had. That thing like really survived a lot.
Yeah. She's also trying to climb out of the pit at first. It's not really working.
It doesn't work, no.
But she sees some water running, so that obviously has to lead somewhere, right? So she follows that. It ends up she's in a house of some kind. It's kind of multi-leveled, right?
Yeah.
And in this sort of scene, you sort of see her resourcefulness, especially when she's in peril of some kind. That goes right back to the novel where we start getting people coming to the house questioning her. Cops, police are questioning her about
she's,
the missing author.
She's resourceful, survivor.
Yeah, exactly. She whenever shit is going down that is crazy, she goes to like this other sort of mindset. Autopilot, sort of, yeah. So she's sort of in the zone. That's really like her element.
Yeah.
You know, which when Ace came, first episode, when Ace is all up in her business and threatening her family, she's instantly goes into, well, it's do or die here.
Yeah.
When it's maybe not. She goes way too far.
I just love how she jump attacked him.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. It was
so
crazy.
Good.
So we go up into the house and she hears something. So she's making her way through the house. And does she go upstairs when she hears something, or is she just looking for a way out the whole time? It seems like she hears something and is goes all the way up into the next floor, maybe.
I don't know. I thought it was the main. I thought it was
like,
the main floor.
Maybe it was on the main floor.
Yeah,
you're probably right. Okay, so she sees some people having intercourse.
Yeah, some squatters that are tenting it out in the living room.
Right, and it's definitely a freaky moment, but we sort of touched on this before we got mics on. She goes, "Christmas!"
And she said, Christmas!
Bolts from the house, and as she's bolting, it pulls out away from the house, and this is exactly the place that I thought she might be in, the Marston house.
Right.
The Marston house is pretty integral to the Salem's Lot story.
Evil house.
It's, perched way up on a hill. Like I said, multiple layers. I think it's like a colonial house, maybe. I'm not really up on my types of houses, but
yeah, I definitely think it's like a 3-story.
Yeah, it's definitely really old.
Because he built the house, and I think when I was reading up on the house, like of all the history of it, is that it was a 3-story.
Yeah, so I did actually pull a kind of paragraph or two from the Stephen King wiki about the Marston house. So let me just read that real quick. The Marston house was essentially a character in its own right in Stephen King's novel Salem's Lot. The house overlooked the town of Jerusalem's Lot and was considered to have an evil presence. The former residence of murderer Hubie Marston, where he killed himself and his wife, which they mention in this episode as well.
Yeah.
When Ace comes with a realtor. Or was that this episode or the next episode? I think
episode
it's 3.
3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're going to cover both today anyway. The house hunted Ben Mears his entire life. Ben returned to Salem's... Ben Mears is the main character of Salem's Lot. Returned to Salem's Lot to write about the Marston house, but after he arrived, discovered that the house was purchased by Kurt Barlow, an Austrian immigrant who arrived in the lot ostensibly to open a store. Barlow was on an extended buying trip. Only his business partner, Richard Straker, was seen in public. The Marston house represented the evil and corruption that existed in Salem's Lot. In the novel, the Marston house was described as sitting above the town like a ruined king, and that the evil that Hubie Marston did in the house left a dry charge behind, which attracted other evil such as Kurt Barlow, the
because he killed his wife, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So the crazy, terrible acts that happened left an evil in it, and it attracted what
More
turns
evil.
out to be a vampire.
Well, evil attracts evil.
Yeah, yeah. And in this episode, we're not sure exactly what kind of craziness is going on besides the squatters in this house.
Right.
But there does a murder does occur in this house. Actually, it turns out multiple. It seems revealed pretty soon because we have the squatters later who are all charred up and burned, and also one of these Somali guys comes out there and gets axed.
Right.
But we'll get to that. So then we move over to Pop. We find out he has cancer, and he's looking through this ledger, right?
Yeah. He's getting his chemo.
Right. He has a conversation with Nadia, but it's, I didn't write down specifics for every single thing that happens in this.
No.
So,
it's always he's pleading with her about something to do with Abdi.
yeah, that's basically what it was. He was asking her about Abdi, or she was asking him about Abdi.
Right.
Because
he has a feeling Abdi did something to Ace.
And so then we go to Annie. She has lost her necklace. And I kind of figured this is probably going to bring us back to the Marston house or to that pit. And we'll get more there. Right. The Merrills are searching for Ace because he's been missing since, we all know what happened to him.
It's like right after the fire, so it looks bad for Abdi.
But yeah, so we have more than just Pop searching for Ace. It's kind of everybody is.
Yeah.
Because he's a piece of shit and he's obviously into something,
Well, yeah, all his cronies are looking for him.
All right.
Or friends, and then Abdi's cronies.
Joy also injures herself very badly here.
Oh my God, I did not like it.
That was a brutal.
I did not like
away
it.
From what I'm watching sort of moment.
I didn't like it.
I just wrote "ouch" underlined.
I wrote, "Oh God, Joy's hand. You didn't warn me." You didn't warn me.
Right. Yeah, I don't want to spoil a single second.
Okay,
of this
well,
before...
but if you watch an episode before I do, and there is a terrible hand mangling scene, you need to warn me.
Okay, I will.
Just saying. I
I've
didn't like it.
Visually warned to warn you. Now, so
did not like it because in episode 3 I was cringing too, and I was like, "God damn it!"
Yeah. Well, that's gonna happen. She's kind of known for using axes and things like that, so. That's kind of a trope, I think, of horror, to have the gross out sort of moment here and there.
It's fine anywhere else. Just don't do the hand. I don't like the hands.
The hands are pretty bad.
I don't like it.
So then we go back to
and I guess
Pop.
we should say that Joy hurt herself because she was running away from her mom.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They got into a huge fight.
Yeah, Joy started to pick up that she is going crazy again. you know.
Right, because she's saying they have to leave.
Right. So, and it's because she's freaking out over the vision she had at the end of last episode, right?
Right, because she saw Ace.
She saw Ace, or a vision of some. She thinks it's a vision, right? So that's why
Well, no, at first she kind of thinks that it is him,
mm-hmm.
but then she realizes her medicine's not right.
Right.
But then she goes crazy thinking that he really is back.
Yeah. So she kind of goes back and forth between
right.
those things. We go back to Pop. He is at the Mellow Tiger questioning people about if anybody's seen Ace.
Yay, we're back at the Mellow Tiger.
Right. And, you know, there's always something going on in Mellow Tiger. On this occasion, while he's there, they're having some talk about a parade that's about to come up.
And they're having like the town meeting.
Yeah, and it's, you know, they're talking about the parade because, we first saw in the first episode as she was driving into town, they were having the 400-year celebration
right
thing. So that's apparently coming up fairly soon. We go back to the hospital. Joy's getting treated by Nadia, and she's talking to Joy about her mom, Annie.
Mm-hmm.
We see kind of more cracks growing in Annie's tail to her daughter,
right.
And in their life on the run together. By getting mixed up with all these people, the inevitable stories are coming out about them,
right?
Through interaction.
She's beginning to question.
Sort of wondering how fast this particular thing is going to progress, like
her finding everything out.
Just the unraveling of
all the lies.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, Joy is not putting up with it.
Well, after episode 3, I would say it's probably going to happen pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I'm liking that they're progressing things pretty quickly.
Yeah.
While also the plot is not completely unraveling. You know what I mean? Like, they are still leaving things for us to wonder about.
Yeah, there's enough side things going on.
Right. We get some Pop flashbacks after that where they're sort of establishing the family dynamic between the Merrills and the Somali adopted family, right?
Right.
But it turns out they're not officially adopted by Pop. They're he just sort of takes them in without going through the paperwork.
Yeah.
Sort of deal. And we see how Abdi does. Venom has completely laid out on the top of her notes. So we're just going on mine, I think. Okay, so yeah. Through the conversation with the younger Abdi and Nadia, we see that Abdi does not trust him from the get. He's probably been through the ringer with foster parents before.
I have a theory on why he doesn't trust them. Do you have a theory on what's going on with their relationship?
I just feel like that's who Abdi really is. That's his. I'm dropping things. That's like what his character is, to not be trusting really of anybody until they prove him otherwise.
Well, certain things were said.
I shouldn't put things in my pockets before we do this. Go ahead.
Certain things were said, and I can't remember if it was this episode or the third episode, where Abdi hints at something that Pop did that Abdi knows about. And I almost like, do you have feelings on that? Because that's how their whole relationship is built on. It's built on, I feel like, a major lie that they're both keeping from the sister.
Yeah, well, maybe it's that they aren't actually blood related. Not blood related, but officially adopted.
No, I feel like in the war he killed their mom.
Oh,
or her parents.
Interesting.
Like, depending on if they had mom and dad, or just at least mom. I feel like he killed somebody in their family, and that's why he felt like he needed to take them.
Interesting. I'll have to go back and watch that scene again.
Because Abdi hints at, when they're in the scene where he's got him tied up, he mentions, you wouldn't want me to tell.
Right. I remember him threatening him about it.
And that's, I've kind of been feeling that, but as soon as he said that, I was like, he did something to their family.
So he feels so guilty about this thing that he did.
Right, that he took them in.
Help them in. Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that gets fleshed out more. I'm sure that it will, or else they wouldn't have hinted at it as much as they have.
Yeah.
There's also a funny thing that happens here where there's a language barrier still, so Abdi is using that to his advantage and saying she probably won't like it so that he can get the milkshake.
Right.
Yeah. So, and then Pop picks up on that, right? He's like, "Did you just tell her that she wasn't gonna like that?" He's
Which,
like, "Oh, you clever!"
They do a good job on young Pop and older Pop.
Right.
They're doing a good job on that.
Do you mean like the look of him?
Yeah.
Yeah. The I always prefer practical makeup, or like
they're making him look
coloring.
older,
Right.
so
Right.
and then they're making him look younger, so you don't really know what he looks like now.
Yeah. Well, what are your thoughts on milkshakes in general?
I don't like vanilla.
You don't like vanilla,
No.
but other ones you do?
I like chocolate.
I was never really a big milkshake guy. I'm not super huge on sweets, so
You know what is the best combination? Milkshake and French fries.
well, maybe that's why it works so well for McDonald's. Theirs are not officially milkshakes though. Theirs are like powdered.
If you go to Steak and Shake,
Steak and Shake has real
best
milkshakes,
thing
right?
is getting milkshake and then getting a plate of their fries.
Oh, their fries are so good.
And just
too.
like sucking down the milkshake, eating fries.
You know, I haven't eaten dinner today, right?
Well, neither have I.
Yeah,
I haven't eaten dinner today either.
Of course you haven't, but it's the morning for you. That's what I'll be doing. My stomach's probably going to growl before we're done with this. Okay,
You want some cheese balls?
No, I'm fine.
I
There's
got
a giant
lunch.
thing of cheese balls in front of us, by the way. Maybe I'll take a photo for the socials of the cheese balls. Remind me to do that.
Okay.
So the necklace is then found by the Somalis at the mall digging site.
Which, okay, where did the fucking hole go?
Well, I believe, don't we see her filling in dirt at some point?
Yeah, but okay, so I'm really confused about this, and I want to discuss this. So when she initially fell in, it was this huge like opening,
A giant collapse,
right?
right?
And you could see in there, and you could see like that there's graves or whatever. And then when she goes back there to look for the necklace, everything's filled in. But then she has like this weird flashback. So I almost was thinking, did she imagine falling into the hole? Like, did that not really happen?
Yeah, that's interesting.
But then how did she get in the house?
It was also like storming and stuff, right?
So
like maybe like the rain and the mud filled in. I don't know. I'm
I don't
really
know.
not
That
sure.
really-
that is
it
odd,
really
though.
bothered me.
I didn't
And-
think about it until we are talking about it.
Yeah,
now.
it really bothered me. And in my notes, I have, excuse me, Venom, it says, where did the big ass hole go?
Yeah, no, totally. That's a fair criticism of whatever was happening there.
Just
'cause
very confused by that.
yeah, I'm not sure that we'll ever get an explanation for that.
Because now it's completely filled in, and I'm thinking, nobody noticed this giant hole?
Right.
I just,
They're working on it, so they must notice that there's this big collapse of the ground. But then, yeah, we see her filling
it's
in.
completely fine.
Yeah, so I don't know.
So that's why I thought, well, did she imagine it? And I don't know.
Maybe it's
But then
certainly
how did
possible
she get to the house?
It's part of her visions or whatever. So then, yeah, they basically find the necklace and they blame it on the squatters who are around, and so that's what brings one of Abdi's crew up to the Marston house to get rid of the squatters. He goes in, and what he finds is two charred, burned up bodies. We must assume are the people that Annie saw.
The squatters, yeah.
Somebody comes up behind him, we don't see who, and smashes him with either an axe or some kind of large blunt instrument like a sledgehammer, something like that.
Right.
And they kill this guy.
I thought I wrote down his name, but I don't see it.
It's one of his Somali security people.
It's like
I
his
guess.
right-hand man that we saw a lot of.
Yeah, so of course we have to question who this is up in the house. Obviously somebody is up there that is not just a squatter.
At first, I thought it was Joy, but then not Joy, Annie.
Yeah,
But then we
so
kind of figure out it wasn't. But
at the time, I'm thinking Annie or Ace Merrill, because I did predict last episode that Ace was going to come back because he's too big a name of an actor to only be in that one episode. There's
Right.
no way, right? Or maybe there was a time jump of some kind. That was my other escape, sort of out of why would this person be up there? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I don't know. Anyway, then we go to, I think it's a conversation with Pop.
At the hospital?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, because he confronts Annie.
Right. This is a scene with Annie and Pop, and he's talking to her all about Ace, right?
Right, because the dog went directly to
Right.
where she's staying. So he's like, you're involved somehow.
Yeah, exactly. And she's, acting kind of weird with him. He says a curse word, and she goes, language, under her breath, which I like that a lot. Again, we see her resourcefulness and her like cunning in being able to explain away things.
Yeah, she's good at lying.
Exactly. This is straight out of Misery. It's what she does whenever she tells Paul before she even has conversations with anybody that's coming. She plans out everything to the T, and this is what I'm going to say.
Well,
right?
she says almost the complete truth. And that's
Right.
what makes it so believable, because all of it was true up until the point where she said, and then somebody showed up and he left.
Right. But she's also at the same time evading his questions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In a very cunning way, like I said.
Yeah.
So then she cries, which is to a guy.
Time to go.
I feel like it's like this is really uncomfortable every single time that happens in real life. You know what I mean? You want to avoid that situation anytime possible.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. I'm not trying to, mansplain or criticize women at all. That's just a tool that women have. I feel like in their arsenal, especially if they're trying to evade questioning or like they have something that they did very wrong that they're trying to cover up for.
Right.
Maybe like the police are questioning somebody who's clearly guilty. Sometimes
And then you start crying.
yeah, then you start crying. It's like, or you like, you were speeding, something like that. I have heard tale of women or girls using that to their advantage.
I mean, I'm just going to be honest. If I got pulled over, I probably would start crying. Because
Yeah.
I would be like, oh my God.
I don't like getting pulled over either, by the way, and it is stressful.
I have no control over how much water it comes out of my eyeballs, and a lot
Sure.
of it comes out. So
Right.
I can't control that. I blame my mother.
Also, I believe we mentioned on our It Chapter 2 review that we went through our summer of crying.
Yeah.
So, I've very recently done some crying myself. Well, no, let's not get into that.
I'm just saying, sometimes it's not on purpose.
No, and it's healthy to do that, actually,
Yeah.
in my opinion. So then we go to Abdi being kidnapped by people. I think at the time I thought it was like maybe Ace's friends.
Yeah, so did I.
You know what I mean? Because they're the ones who are arguing with him earlier.
Right.
But no, it turns out it was actually Pop.
Because he's pissed.
And it was. I think it was Ace's buddies, but it also is Pop's buddies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because Annie made it seem like Abdi was the one who picked him up and was the last person
Right.
who saw him.
Yeah. Pop goes, was he yay tall?
Yeah.
Or yay tall?
Right.
So Abdi sort of lords the truth about Pop over him, like we were saying earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I think this father-son relationship with both Abdi and Ace are completely on the rocks. You know what I mean? It's like a very sort of tentative situation we have in this family dynamic.
I feel like they both really care about the other person.
Yeah.
But they don't want the other person to know that that's the truth.
Right.
Which is weird.
Yeah, they like play this weird game with each other.
Yeah, but I feel like deep down, like they really do care about each other.
Yeah, I don't think that's,
They're just
going too far to say that at all.
being macho men about it.
If anybody, well, with the exception of Ace Merrill, I think Pop and Abdi are the two sort of alpha people in their family.
Right.
Nadia's definitely the beta.
Which, okay, I didn't realize that Ace and his brother were not Pop's kids, that those are his nephews.
Right.
I didn't realize that. Did they say that in the first episode?
I'm not sure.
They just kind of threw that in, and I was like, what?
Right. I don't know that I even remember hearing that.
Those are his nephews?
Yeah. I thought they were his sons.
I thought so too, but I swear that they said his nephews.
Well, we don't have time to look it up now, but if someone wants to correct us, please write us. Let's see.
Or when in between the second and third episode, we can look it up.
Right. So, this is about the time where Pop has sort of some health issue going on. His vision goes out, you know what I mean? He's really dizzy, and then he falls over, and he's got Ace's dog
who wants to eat Abdi.
Exactly. And Ace's dog is going crazy. Pop passes out on the ground, or almost passes out. He's barely hanging on enough to keep the leash, taut.
Right.
And Abdi starts working himself free, right?
He's trying to, because he knows he's going to get eaten.
And I'm not really sure if we see him escape before the end of this episode.
No,
we don't. Okay.
I don't think so.
I did sort of a speedy sort of catch up on episode 2 because I watched it several days ago, but I didn't catch every single thing before I left for work last night. Then we go to Joy. Joy is on to her mom now, right? And is this where she's questioning her about her? Or is it just looking through her phone in this moment?
I think it's just looking through the phone.
Right. And then we get another appearance of Ace again at the end of here. Do you remember the circumstance of that? I didn't get to rewatch it last night.
That's a good question.
Well, I believe we see Annie, and then she has another vision or something like that.
I know. I wrote down beetles buzzing.
Yeah, so it goes back to the sort of thing that we saw in the pit earlier, which is there's beetle.
So does that mean that they were beetles the whole time?
That's what I'm saying. Is I maybe
they weren't bats.
Misconstrued them for bats. I thought they were bats though.
Yeah.
Again, I didn't get to go back and check out this final moment, so I can't be 100% sure. Even I can't go back to episode. I didn't go back to episode 1 either.
Right.
But yeah. So there's this a swarm of beetles.
Yeah.
So maybe beetles instead. Not really sure. But I guess with that, we can get to the first of our 2. Are there any Dark Tower references in this episode? But we have to say it together. So,
oh gosh,
are there any Dark Tower references?
Were there?
Exactly. You're asking me. Vaguely. So the Marston house is sort of equal in reputation to the Dutch Hill Mansion, which is it's in, I believe, the 3rd book of the Dark Tower series. The Dutch Hill Mansion is. And Jake has to kind of go into this sort of evil house that everybody in town has a reputation for being haunted. Dutch Hill Mansion to get to Midworld, where Roland and his crew are for the 2nd time.
Okay.
Spoilers on Dark Tower, jeez. So, yeah, I guess with that, we're going to episode 3. So we did a bit of research.
Yes.
Turns out you were correct. Ace and the others are...
The Ace and his brother.
Ace and his brother are nephews, right?
To Pop, yeah.
To Pop. Not his...
Sons.
So maybe misspoke or just figured based on him being called Pop.
Right.
I don't know. And with them being as young as they were, along with the pseudo foster kids,
So it makes you wonder what happened to their parents.
Yeah. And also, I forgot to mention earlier how they were sort of off to the side while that milkshake thing was happening.
Right.
So we see how Ace is like perturbed by this entire situation immediately.
Already. Yeah.
Right?
Young Ace is already pissed.
The dynamic is established. We also made sure we wanted to get this right. The end scene of the episode, Joy and Annie are heading back from the hospital, and they get into it.
Because Annie is saying that they're moving again after she just said that they could stay.
Right. And Joy runs off out of the car in a huff once they get back to the cabin. And that is when we get the swarm of beetles and we see Ace in the background. So, moving on to episode 3, shall we?
We shall, which is Ties That Bind.
Ties That Bind. You might have to help lead along this episode a little bit, but I made a note of this opening camera shot where it's attached to Annie and she's having a freak out.
I wrote down, I like the POV shots because we feel as manic as she does.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely love that.
I think the camera is actually like attached to her when that is happening because you get the shakiness of her moving around.
Yeah, it's got to be attached somewhere.
Yeah. So I definitely dug that. But is that her in the house? You know, with
Yeah, that's when. So the episode starts with her getting out of her car.
Mm-hmm.
And she sees Ace, and so she runs inside.
Right.
And when she runs inside, that's when she's like all crazy manic.
Yeah.
And it's the POV shot.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I mean, what exactly happens right then? Because I didn't rewatch.
Well, she's just running around the house, just being crazy.
Yeah, and I think it's later where she ties her up, right? It's not this early in the episode. Joy goes out with friends, right? She goes out with the other kids in the cabin.
Later on, yeah.
In the neighborhood. Okay, so where do we go from that scene right there?
So from there, we go back to Abdi with Pop.
Okay, yeah.
And that's where he finally escapes. He's able to break the chair, and then he has a super close call with the dog and traps the dog in the elevator, yeah.
Right.
And then he rescues his dad and takes him to the hospital.
Right. And he drops Pop off in front of the hospital. They see that it was him, right? He's there whenever they grab him.
And then he leaves.
Right. So
then we go back to Annie, and we see her going back to the site. And again, everything's filled in.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And I'm like, where does the hole go?
She's looking for her necklace.
She's looking for the necklace, yeah. And then she goes up to the house on the hill. And she goes inside the house or whatever, and everything seems fine. Like, there's no burned bodies. There's no...
Yeah, but she does see, like, the tent and stuff like that.
Right. But she sees no evidence that people were just murdered.
Mm-hmm. So she doesn't find her necklace up there either.
No, because the dude who we just saw get murdered the episode before had it.
Right. And, yeah, so...
What was really cool, though, was that shot of the tree going through the house. I thought that was pretty sweet. Do you remember seeing that? When she's walking through the house, there's, like, tarps on the floor, and then she looks into a room, and there's just this tree growing through the house.
I didn't remember that. But, yeah no, that's cool. We kind of... Yeah, I guess we get a little bit more of the house here. Mm-hmm. You know,
because she's trying to she finally finds that door that she came up through, and it's padlocked.
Right.
So, because she wants to get back to because obviously it's all filled in.
Sure.
So the only other way to get there is through the tunnels.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure she is out and not involved in the situation where the realtor comes up with Ace.
No, because when she's at the door. That's when the dude with the necklace, the Somali guy, walks into the kitchen behind her and just eats like a whole egg, shell and all.
That's right.
And
yeah,
then
I
she
knew we saw
freaks out
somebody
and
up
run
here.
out of the house.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Which,
some real weird shit goes on in that scene right there.
Yeah.
You don't know what that's about at all. You just know that there's a weird guy that she had not seen before.
Right. But it's the guy that we saw.
Right.
And he's just eating eggs whole.
So that's where she takes off, right?
Yeah, that's where
Yeah.
she takes off.
She's like, I'm getting out of here.
That
immediately."
guy's crazier than I am.
Yeah. And this time she goes out the front door, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then we go back to the hospital and we learn that Pop had a stroke and he's confused about everything that happened. He's not really sure.
Mhm.
And he says Abdi should have left him there. He would have.
Right, yeah. So, again, we're getting more information about, what Abdi and Pop's kind of...
Their dynamic.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm. Yeah, and Dr. H is saying that she still hasn't heard from Abdi. And she asks him if Pop hurt him. And he says, I don't remember.
Yeah, yeah.
And then she freaks out and runs out.
Yeah, so she knows... You see by the way this scene plays out, she knows something's going on.
She knows they got into a fight of some
Yeah.
kind, yeah.
And, then we go back to Annie, right, with Joy.
Yeah, we go back to Joy, and she's drawing, and that's when her friend knocks on the door and says, do you want to go look for a dead guy?
Yeah. Which is, reminiscent of The Body
Yeah.
or Stand By Me.
So then they go to Castle Lake, because that's where they say all the bodies are dumped, and they get in a boat, and they start poking the water with a stick.
Right, and one of the friends loses his oar,
Yeah.
right? And Joy just takes it upon herself, well, once it's revealed that they gave her pot brownies or whatever, which I almost immediately assumed that's what those were.
For sure. Well, because I wrote down, I said, because the friend, I can't remember her name, she said you could bring the bathing suit or not, and I said she wants Joy's ass. And I said pot brownies.
Yeah, I didn't want to assume anything about her, that character, but I thought there was the possibility. You know what I mean?
She wants Joy's ass, yeah.
Yeah, that it's maybe more than a friendly thing with that girl. Just because they immediately
Hit it off.
have a thing when they first meet. You know what I mean?
She gave her a phone already.
Yeah, she gave her a phone. She's being extra nice.
Right.
Yeah.
She wants something.
Yeah, maybe. That's what I thought. So I don't know.
She wants Joy's ass.
Yeah. So there's a sound in the lake though. When we get some underwater shots before Joy jumps in, we hear this noise
Weird
underneath
noise,
there.
yeah.
And then when she gets in, she actually mentions that there's the noise, and they're like, "You are definitely high."
Yeah. Oh, and then they make the reference to Warden Sheldon.
Yeah.
Remember? Because they said that if anybody finds his head, the one girl wanted it.
Yeah, he offed himself.
Nobody found the head.
Right. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't really have many theories about the sound. I just know that there's some definite supernatural stuff going on
For sure.
somewhere, probably. Most likely the Marston House. Maybe that has an effect on the lake of some kind.
Yeah.
It's really close to it.
Right. So we do go back to Annie, and she's freaking out because she thinks the doctor changed her recipe for her medicine because she's having hallucinations.
Right. And she calls and tells her that, and she's like, I'm having a family
And she's
emergency
like, I don't have
right
time
now.
for your bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nadia says that.
I did like, though, when they were showing Joy in the boat and talking about her not being able to curse, that she said, fuck, fuckity fuck, fuckle fuck. I was like, fuckle fuck. That's a good one. I like that.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm going to use that in my everyday life. Fuckle fuck.
I really think that comes because of how Annie has an interesting way of speaking.
Cursing, yeah.
Yeah. That, it ended up making her talk in a strange way.
It's like baby talk.
Exactly. Being so sheltered and only having conversations with this one person forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so then they get back to the cabins, and This is where we know that the girl definitely wants Joy because she moves in and acts like she's going to kiss her and then turns her phone on.
Yeah. Because she wants to have maybe sexting with her. Maybe some interesting conversations at wee hours of the night.
Right. So then Joy gets back to their place and the house is a complete wreck.
Yeah. And we get sort of Annie's confession to Joy that she killed a person.
Right.
Right.
She's saying, well, she first says the medicine's not working.
Mm-hmm.
And she admits that she killed a person.
Yeah.
And that he came back.
So this is where Joy initiates their previous plan for emergencies only, to use this shot
Right.
that will knock her out.
Yeah. So she stabs her in the back with it.
And
the whole time Annie's like, we said this is for emergencies.
Yeah,
This is
right,
not
right.
an emergency.
And yeah, this is clearly a plan that they've worked out beforehand because she has had other crazy spells.
Right.
You know, where maybe she has run out of medication or whatever has happened before this. You know, that made them run town to town.
Yeah. And knew that this was a possibility.
Yeah. And yeah, Annie's self-awareness of that is actually really entertaining as she's quickly ramping down to passed out, you know.
So then we switch back to Abdi and his sister, and he says that he saved Pop for her. And this is where I wrote down, I think Pop killed their mom. Because he, again, says to his sister, you know, like, he doesn't want to ever see that look on her face again.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he's ever going to want to tell whatever the secret is that he has on Pop. That's why I believe it's like something huge. Like, in the war, he killed their parents.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a very real possibility. I think you're definitely onto something there. If it's not, it has to be something to do with them.
Right.
You know? Otherwise, he wouldn't entrust Abdi with this secret.
Right. And they keep showing him during the war, so I just feel like eventually we're going to see that flashback of him like accidentally killing somebody.
Yeah, no, I think you're onto something there.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that. But I do like that they're keeping things from us still. They're not just spilling the beans, you know.
Right.
This is helping drive the plot along and make you wonder. There's more to these characters than we're getting.
Yeah.
You know.
I feel like they're doing a better job than last season. Like they're giving us a little bit more information at a time.
Oh, maybe a lot.
A lot more helpful. But it's still not enough to know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I really just think so far the episodes have been a little more well constructed as far as like the plots connect better, you know.
Except for that damn hole.
Yeah, exactly.
This damn hole is like the fucking Winnebago that was in the woods. It's this all over again.
Yeah.
How did it get there?
Well, the guy told us very carefully. That's how they got it out of there.
So then we go back to the hospital, and Ace is walking around, and he goes to see Pop.
Yeah, so before this...
We thought she was hallucinating him.
Right.
And apparently he's really back.
Yeah, and he's acting super weird.
Yeah. And he says that he's been in Derry. Right.
He's not his usual abrasive self.
Right.
He's more of a... I don't know. It's like if there was a clone of him.
Yeah, it's like a zombified version of him.
Exactly.
Yeah. Body-snatcher version.
Yeah. So I don't know what that's about yet, but...
Yeah, because then he creepily leaves and looks in the mirror, and then he's driving his tow truck.
Right. So, I don't know. I just have a theory based on just what we have so far about Ace. Is that it's very much like a Pet Cemetery situation with that house or that ground around, you know, the Marston house or the mall or whatever is spoiled somehow by things that happened in that area.
I think it's a body snatcher type thing.
Yeah.
I think whoever was in those graves, they're inhabiting people now.
And I want to say that something about black magic was mentioned about the Marston house that that was going on there.
Right.
You know, so maybe that alone is what spoiled, you
Could
know.
be. I just want to say this is another place where some good curse words were used.
Oh, yeah.
Because the Ace gets pulled over by the cops because he's speeding and drinking. And the cop pulls up to him and says, "Pull over, asshole." And then calls him fuck nuts.
Fuck nuts. That's what it was.
But then he got lazy and and then he just said asshole again. Like, I wanted them to ramp it up from fuck nuts. I wanted something better.
So when he gets pulled over, the cop is approaching and Ace just flips him the bird. Yeah. Right? And we leave not knowing exactly what happens at the end of that situation.
No.
But we see more of this cop later, and we'll get to that.
So then we switch to...
Then we go back to where? Where do
Annie
we go?
in bed, and she's waking up, and she finds out she's tied up to the bed and can't move.
Right, yeah. That's where Joy is telling her, like, you were going to tell me the truth now.
Right. Well, and
you're going to take your pills.
And she tells her mom that Ace is not dead. Mm-hmm. Like, he's been spotted around town. So she's obviously hallucinating and needs to take her medication.
Yeah, and Joy's right that, yes, she is crazy right now. Mm-hmm. But also, Annie is right that, yes, she did see the hallucination. So, I believe pretty soon Joy finds out that Ace is back, right? Yeah. From who does she find that out from, or does she see him?
You mean besides Joy telling Annie that he's back through text message?
That's what it was. Mm-hmm. The friend texts her and tells her that Ace is back in town. Okay, yeah. So, Joy knows that Annie is right that Ace is back, but she thinks he's crazy because he's just back, and she thinks he's a hallucination and that she murdered him. So she just thinks that Annie is absolutely batshit crazy. Yeah. Annie hears that Ace is back, and she is further convinced that it's like
something's happening.
Shit is going crazy.
Right. And this is where we find out that, the pact that they had for use of that medication, that she's not going to be untied until she starts taking her medication again. And we see Annie faking it and then spitting it out towards the mice.
Right. And I don't know if it's exactly at the scene or not, but she gets a glass of water and breaks it under her pillow.
We see the glass. She hasn't broken it yet.
Yeah, I think that's later.
Yeah.
So this is where we go to Ace.
Yes, and the real estate agent.
With the real estate agent. They're going up there. He's
to the mansion,
quote unquote, checking out the Marston house.
Right.
I'm guessing to buy it.
Yeah. And he asks her the most random question, which is, "Are you still able to have children?"
Yeah, and she is like, "That's a weird question to ask."
I feel like at that point, you don't take him inside to show him the house.
Yeah. Also, this realtor knows who Ace is. Yeah. And can kind of tell he's acting very weird and a little too nice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Get away from the guy.
Yeah.
He's asking if you're still able to have children. That doesn't bode well for you.
Now, did we already get the scene where Ace went to see Pop, or was that at the hospital?
That was at the hospital.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Mm-hmm. I wasn't sure if Ace went to Pop's place of business.
No.
Or his house, or whatever. If he runs out of the house, I'm not sure. I can't really remember how that situation is right now. But
no, he just went to see him at the hospital.
Gotcha. Okay, so they go into the house. Mm-hmm. The realtor
hears thudding.
She looks around and sees that shit is not how it should be.
Right.
There's definitely squatters there. She obviously hasn't been there in a while. Mm-hmm. Goes up the stairs.
Bad idea.
She goes into the bathroom. Who is coming out of the tub in the bathroom?
The police officer.
But the police officer that pulled over Ace earlier. Ace is behind her.
And it looks like he's got like amniotic fluid all over him.
Yeah, he has like goo. Some kind of goo all over him.
Yeah, like he's been reborn. Which is why I feel like it's a body-snatchers type thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no theory about I didn't know what the fuck that was.
Yeah. And then Ace comes up behind her and he's got some chains. So, obviously, he's not going to kill her. He's going to impregnate her somehow.
Yeah, or otherwise, why would he ask her about that? Or is it something that can impregnate her that is not him?
Could be.
You know, like, I don't know.
Yeah. Like, she's going to be a vessel for babies.
Yes, in some form or fashion.
Yeah, and I don't see this ending well for her either.
But the cop can't have babies, so why is he in goo? Like, I
feel like he's now a goon.
A goo-goon?
I feel like he's now a worker bee for Ace Merrill, you know? Like, Ace is getting his people, his legion of followers.
Well, it's very much like the Salem's Lot situation with the vampires, because they start getting townspeople to become vampires, and then
Infecting
they are
them.
doing the bidding of Barlow, who can't leave his sort of tomb in the bowels of the Marston house.
Right.
So he has his one guy that he brought with him that I mentioned at the top of this episode, but he also has, you know, other vampires that, I guess, what's his name, brings to Barlow.
That are the town people. And they're able to infiltrate the town even more.
Right, exactly. Eventually, spoilers, taking over all of Jerusalem's Lot except for a couple of people who escape.
Right, and that's kind of how I feel like this might be going.
Yeah, it's reminiscent of that, for sure.
On top of Annie being batshit crazy and running from her own demons.
Yeah.
Now we got this shit going on.
Yeah, totally. So
then we go back to Annie, and she's having a nightmare that Ace kills Joy and like snaps her neck, but she wakes up and realizes that it was just a nightmare.
She's still tied up, right?
She's still tied up.
This is where she smashes the glass.
No, this is where Joy asks her what's in the lockbox.
Oh,
and
yeah, okay.
Annie lies some more and says it's just papers. And she gets her more pills, pretending to be better, and that's where she tries for the glass cup. And I see hurt fingers coming.
That's great.
And Joy says, you know, if you tell me the truth about everything, you know, what are we running from? You know, then I'll know that you're better. And Annie kind of goes into this story about how her father didn't want her, so she took Joy and ran, and says that's why she's been lying to Joy, and that's the only lie she's ever told her.
Right.
Was that her father was dead when really he's alive and he's coming after them.
Yeah, and when Joy is walking out of the room, she's like, "He didn't want you."
Yeah. So this is where we see the dead mice on the floor.
That was a good impression, by the way.
It was good.
Sorry, I had to pat myself on the back.
So we see the dead mice, and she realizes that she's been lying to her about taking the medicine. And that's when we hear the knock on the door.
Right.
And she says fudging right. She screams to Joy, "You're fudging right."
Love it. That's so cool. Yeah, so a little bit before this is where she smashed the glass, which we've tried to say that a bunch of times, but she smashes the water glass, hides it. Then whenever she finally has the coast clear, she is able to squirm the broken glass over to one of her hands.
To her mouth.
To her mouth, that's right.
And
she's like pulling the rope over to her mouth and using it to cut. That was the most cringy of this episode.
No. The cringeworthy thing is when she popped her shoulder out of place.
Oh, well, yeah, that too.
That was the worst thing, because she did that
thing is bad.
Immediately, and she's like covered in blood, and she's using her mouth with the glass, and I'm just like, I don't like any of it.
It's awful. It actually reminds me of Gerald's Game a little bit too, because in that story, a woman is handcuffed to a bed and there's no one around,
right?
You know, for miles.
Well, didn't the guy die like in bed with her?
Yes, that's how it opens.
Yeah,
and she is stuck for a long time, and it's reminiscent of that, right?
Yeah.
But this, I didn't like. I hate cuts.
I do too.
Like, they're super painful, first of all, but we're talking cuts on your mouth, your tongue, your face, your fingers,
your wrist.
All of that stuff is super cringeworthy.
Oh, I don't like it.
Yeah. And we get a lot of it.
Yeah.
We get a minute or two of her doing that.
I'll admit I wasn't watching that well.
Yeah, and we should mention the person who is at the door for Joy is Nadia.
First of all, she didn't even look outside.
Yeah.
If there's weird shit going on around, why aren't you peeking out the door?
I definitely noted that in my head that like she has a blind over the door.
Yeah.
Just lift the blind
Just
up or
look.
move it out of the way and
Yeah.
look who's at your door.
A little peek.
Especially if there's like any inkling of crazy shit going on right now.
Which
like,
there's
with
lots
Ace.
of inklings.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, especially if your mom is like making all this shit up about Ace. Well, you definitely don't want Ace coming to the door, you know?
Right.
Crazy. So yeah, it is Dr. H, and she lies to her and says that her mom's had a stomach bug, but she's getting better.
Yeah.
And the doctor doesn't believe her.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then she slams the door in her face.
Right.
And this is where we see her popping her shoulder back into place, which I didn't like that either.
No, it's awful.
And that's when Joy walks in and sees that Annie is getting out. And that's when she cuts Joy's arm with the glass.
Yeah, and instantly Mom kicks in. She's like, "Oh my God,
I'm so sorry." Yeah, and so Joy runs out.
Yeah.
And we start hearing the typewriter.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Oh shit," and she starts scrambling on the floor trying to eat her medicine.
Right.
Because I guess any medicine's better than no medicine at this point.
So along with the typewriter noise,
We see the man.
we see the tall man again.
Yeah.
And that's the same exact thing that happened when she first saw him, when she almost gets ran into by a bus. We hear the typewriter sort of noises in the background.
Right.
And then
And
tall man.
Tall man
So
appears.
this is the second time this has happened, and it is reinforcing my theory that is Paul Sheldon. Somehow, events of the future are coming up in her brain. You know, I don't know how that could ever happen.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's like a supernatural thing, but that's just my strongest theory that I have, because the typewriter goes directly along with Misery. You
Right.
know, it's throughout the novel, so it's like and the original movie. So
Eventually we'll get there. We'll see how it all ties in.
yeah, of course, and that's with a lot of things that we're getting so far, right?
Yeah.
We just don't know. So I
So
don't know.
the tall man whispers to her,
Mm-hmm.
"You know how this story ends. You're going to kill her."
Yeah,
And that's where it ends.
And so to that I ask you, is it her meaning Joy?
I believe so.
Yeah, because I think she watches her run away, and he says that.
Yeah.
As she's watching her, like the vision, her looking, her viewpoint doesn't change. While like there's a sort of a staring off sort of moment going on. That's when he comes behind her and says that.
Yeah.
So we must assume, I guess, that that's who he's talking about, but maybe he's not. Maybe it's
I mean,
another...
that would be the worst her that he could possibly say she's going to kill.
The only other hers that we have so far, well, the realtor, she's out of the situation already.
The doctor, but I don't.
Doctor,
he wouldn't be taunting her with that.
Doctor's the only right, but who is he taunting her, or is he just?
I feel like it.
Yeah, is he? And you know, I don't know. He's just a vision of hers at this point.
Yeah,
that's all that we know.
Or her could be herself.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This is. I don't know why I called you man.
Nah.
But
I don't know, woman.
I don't know. Like a lot of this is we can make theories about it, but I'm sure we'll find out.
Yeah.
Maybe not the tall man. All we can really go on is what happened at the end of last season, and that was not really the payoff that I was hoping for.
No. So disappointing.
Tim on his podcast actually mentioned that I think they were talking about plot or something like that, and how plots connect or don't connect, and he's like Castle Rock last season where it didn't at all. It's like, well, yeah, I guess not.
It connected. It just didn't connect in a way that I liked it connect.
Yeah, I think that's really what made. Well, I don't know. I can't really speak for Tim, but
because you had this whole journey of him getting out of the hole.
Yeah.
And realizing that he did have another life, and he got pulled into this one, and this is not where he's supposed to be, and he could have been so much better, and then yet he's back in the hole again.
Yeah, it's not quite the payoff that we wanted, like I said. So,
No.
Hopefully, we're pointing towards lots of really interesting things happening in the rest of the season, and fingers crossed for a nice payoff at the end.
Right.
But that's still pretty far away.
How many episodes? 8? 10?
I think there's 10. I can't say that for absolute certainty. With absolute certainty. Well, I guess let's do it. Were there any Dark Tower references? Were there?
I don't know. Were there?
I didn't see any. I talked about any references that were to Stephen King things already, and I don't think any of these were. Well, I guess that'll do it. Shall it?
Shall it do it?
Gene Shalit?
He has a nice mustache.
He does. I don't know if he's still alive.
Oh.
He's an old guy.
He had a nice fro, too. Glasses.
He reviewed a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Not really TV shows like we did today. So, I guess that does it for this episode. These 2 episodes.
After today, it'll just be 1 again.
Not true.
No?
Next week, we are doing 4 and 5 because we are already past due to watch episode 4.
Oh, yeah.
So, that'll happen. Look forward to that. Make sure you watch episodes 4 and 5 before you watch the next, listen to the next episode. You'll have plenty of time to do so. Sorry this one came out a day or 2 late just because of life stuff. That's what happens when you have a kid who wants to enjoy Halloween, okay?
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. Until next time, bye-bye.
Bye.
But also share the show. Thank you and goodbye.